Thanks for tuning into GuitarsOK. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the likes, leave some comments. Brandon and I will get back to you if you have any questions or anything. So today's guest is Brandon Autry. Welcome back to the show, Brandon.
Hey, bud. Thanks for having me.
How you doing, big guy?
Great, man. It's sunny. I'm in Las Vegas, and it's beautiful, and it's cold.
Well, you're not missing anything back here in Tulsa. It's, because we're actually cold today too. It's like 30 degrees and 40 degrees out right now. So we're a little chilly right now. So tell all the viewers, Brandon, now you're on the road. So I'm starting these segments with a few of my guests that are out touring and doing stuff. And so you'll be the first one. I'm calling it, something like Tones from the Road. But,
Cool.
but yeah, so tell all the viewers here where you're at, who you're touring with, where they can find you, all that kind of stuff, Brandon.
Yeah, so we're in Las Vegas right now at the Golden Nugget, and we're playing here tonight actually. And man, it's awesome. This is in Old Vegas. I've never been to Old Vegas. I've always played on the Strip or I've been on the just the Strip, the main Strip part of Vegas, New Vegas, I guess. And it's really interesting here. But so yeah, I'm with David Lee Murphy. And this has been a great run. We started in Arizona at the Flying E Ranch. Man, it was wild. I feel like it was the first time I've ever been to Arizona, even though I've been a billion times, because we were out in the desert. And it was this huge ranch with just all this land, and they gave us these side-by-sides, and we flew in Thursday, played Friday, and then we stayed Saturday, Sunday. And it was so cool and peaceful. And it was really interesting as well, because they have a venue on site, and they have a lot of artists, concerts on their property. And we did this show, man, and it was packed.
Were you guys the only act, or did you guys have other acts?
No, there was an opener, like a local country music opener, and then there was someone playing after us too. It was really cool, and he was great. Man, that was a fun show. Then they drove us up in a party bus from Arizona up here to Vegas, and it's like I wouldn't want it any other way. Like, it was so great.
So where can everybody find this? There's been probably some pictures maybe going around on Facebook or something. Maybe David Lee Murphy. Maybe you have some, right? Where's the best place to find you, Brandon? Is it still Facebook, Instagram?
Instagram and Facebook, yeah. Brandon Autry Guitar on Instagram, and just Brandon Autry on Facebook.
And then maybe David Lee Murphy Band or something possibly too, right?
Yeah.
Might be some pictures out there.
Yeah, probably. I think as far as, I may update a little bit more than those pages, but I think David Lee's are mostly like when shows are, happening, stuff like that. It's super professional. And so yeah, but definitely for shows and stuff, you'd want to go to his page and.
And then this is like the end of the season for you right now, right? If I heard you correctly off camera, you're talking about you're kind of wrapping things up for the year, coming back home soon, right?
Yeah, last show of the year. I'll be home tomorrow, flying home, and I'm still playing. I've got another gig next weekend with a Texas artist, somewhere in Oklahoma. I'll have to figure out where it is. His name is Daryl Perry, super cool guy.
Cool. He's out of Texas, you said?
Yeah, he's from Texas. Man, he's such a great guy. I'm looking forward to that. It's a lot of fun.
Now, Brandon, I saw you were advertising some online lessons, right, for the holiday season. I think you even had some maybe deals or something even going on right now. So give a plug about that right away.
Yeah, so I've been doing virtual guitar lessons, and I even have people that are just, for mentorship, wanting to get into the music business or, start a career in music. And I've been doing that. Well, I've been teaching since I was 19. So I've been teaching guitar since 2000.
That's quite a few years, man. A couple decades under your belt already, right?
It's a long time. And so I started doing virtual lessons actually in 2014. And so I've been doing virtual guitar lessons for many years. And I really enjoy it. And what's cool is a lot of my students are in other, I mean, the majority of them are all in different states. And it allows me the opportunity to connect with people that I wouldn't get to hang out with on a weekly basis. And, you know, I can do it on the road too. I've been doing lessons all week.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. The culture we live in, right? We got YouTube and where's the lessons coming through? Is there a certain platform you're using?
I usually do. I just FaceTime everybody through my computer. It's easy and there's no time limit, you know, and the audio is great. Yeah, it's super low maintenance. And I send out, you know, I've got the, you know, sheets I can send. I've got an app where it like it looks like a copy, you know, a PDF. And so that we're looking at things at the same time and it works really well. So yeah, but you know, for the holiday season, I offer gift certificates.
And how much are those running for? You got something like a 2-for-1 kind of thing? Lessons for 4 or any disc 20% off, anything?
Yeah, I was running a Black Friday sale, but really it's just, you know, the normal price. So there's $40 a lesson for 30 minutes. And then it's $150 a month. And then for 30 minutes, if you do monthly, it's a little bit of a price break. And then I have a lot of people that do hours every month. And so if you do an hour session once a week, every month it's $280. And so
cool. Now I'm going to add to this. If somebody signs up from YouTube and they say they saw you on the show on GuitarsOK, I'm going to give me their shirt size and I'll mail them, as long as they're in America, I'll mail them a shirt for GuitarsOK Oklahoma. Well, so if they sign up, just let me know their shirt size, buddy, and I'll send them a shirt.
I'll sign up.
I still haven't gotten you yours yet. I gotta reorder some more. That's funny.
I got one.
Yeah, right. It's too big, right?
It's a little big.
All right, so all right, let's get into this a little bit. So everybody like me that has never really traveled around like past their city playing guitar, they have these ideas in their head of what it is to be a traveling musician, to be a part of a band. I mean, we watch MTV, we watch YouTube, we have all these kind of ideas, but as we know, that's like watching reality television. It's only giving us a little snippet of what's actually happening, right? So
highlight reel.
Yeah, right. So highlight reels, correct. So let's riff for a few minutes on the idea of and your experience of being a traveling musician and gigging. So name some of the good things that have come from it, some of the good experiences you've had through gigging and stuff and traveling.
Man, there's a lot of good. I love seeing the country. I love playing in places that I probably would have never gotten a chance to visit. You meet a lot of really cool people and you realize how small the world really is. Because I start running into people in airports, like, you know, you meet them here and, you know, whatever, you get in conversation, whether it's about guitar or music or whatever. And then you're, you know, in DFW or whatever, Sacramento airport, and they're walking, you know, you're at baggage claim, like, oh, hey, I saw you at in Kansas or wherever, you know, Florida. And I love that aspect of it. Something I had to get better at was enjoying my time, because most of your time on the road is not playing a show, because that's 90 minutes a night. It's the during the day, you know, and you have a lot of downtime. And so something I've had to get better at, you know, over the years that I have gotten better at now is I just try to make the most of the day. Like if there's a thing in town to see, like what's the thing, you know, or is there's a you know, whatever that is, you know, or maybe we're in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, where's a hiking trail or something? You know, I got to get out and walk. I'm a walker. I'm a mall walker. You catch me at Woodland Hills Mall in Tulsa pretty much daily, walking, and, you know, I love doing that. So I'll do a lot of that on the road too. And,
so this brings up the point that we were just talking about. The highlight reels show you like getting off a van or something. Yeah, you got your gear, you're fist bumping people, you're plugging in, you're jamming, crowd's going wild, right? But then there's that downtime. So
dude, if you saw
trying to stay healthy, right? Trying to walk. What do you do for food? Do you go to do you try to find grocery stores or something particularly for that area? What do you do for like food?
You gotta, like, I try to eat not fast food. So, you know, if it's like if it's a breakfast place, I'll just do protein, just eggs and, something not crazy. It can be challenging on the road because there's a lot of after show food. Most of the time it's pizza or wings and if you have one, if I have one, I'm going to have five. And that's okay. I think you got to have a cheat day, but I think if you saw my day to day, like on this trip, man, I'm in Vegas, and last night I went to bed at 9:00 and I was up at 5:30 this morning. And that's me every day on the road. If I'm not playing a show, the show night is the late night for me. And not everyone's that way, but I'm just kind of, I'm kind of a night owl, or not a night owl, but a morning person anyways. So I try to keep that the same for when I go home. It's basically consistent. At home, I go to bed really early. I get up early. But I like to feel productive. So, I practice a lot, practice a ton, as much as I can. Yeah.
So I think it's what I'm hearing right now is you're talking about time management, right? Mm-hmm. You're staying on your time schedules. You're trying to keep your body kind of on that circadian rhythm is what it sounds like you're saying.
Oh, yeah.
You're looking for healthy options, going walking somewhere, right? Yeah. Trying to find healthy food, right?
Yeah. Sleep is king for me. If I've got to, and I want to play good, and I got to feel good when I do that. And so tonight, I almost went out last night. And because there's a lot of bands in town here in Vegas this week. And I almost went and watched some guys last night. And I was like, I came up to my room after we ate, and I just felt tired, and it hit me. And I just went to bed. And yeah, I want to do a good job, and I don't want to, man, I just don't want to, I want to be my best. And I think to do that, I've just got to have some stability during the off days, but we still have a great time though.
So you know what I mean? There's the time management aspect, right? But the end goal is to be a professional and to play well while you're on tour, because that's what you're there for, right?
Yeah, I want to do a good job.
Yeah.
And I want to enjoy it. I'm so grateful for playing on stage that I really want to make the most of those short 90 minutes. Each song, I'm like, I'll sit there. I do it basically every show. I just look around at the guys and I look around at the crowd. I'm like, man, I'm playing Dust on the Bottle right now. Or I'm playing, whatever song it is. And it's like, man, I just want to sit this moment on repeat and just live in this for a bit. And I don't want to have that feeling of, man, I just can't wait to get this over with so I can go lay down because I feel like crap.
But that attests for your professionalism right now, because what I keep hearing now is everything's based on leading to the playing guitar for the artist and doing your part and doing the right thing and staying on form, practicing in your room, walking a little bit, eating healthy, maybe turning down an opportunity to go out. But it all leads to, right, what your job is playing on the road. And those are the highlight reels. And you don't want those highlight reels, it sounds like, to backfire, because that's the whole point of you being there, right?
Well, to be honest, it came from many nights before of staying up late, partying, feeling like crap every day. I learned from that. So I haven't always been this disciplined. It started from in my 20s, and I'm 42 now. It started in my 20s and my early 30s into, feeling rough. And
so you could probably counsel some people and tell them, right, younger people right now, what you're saying right now. I want to just give a little wake up call, because you're saying some good stuff, Brandon. So keep riffing on this. How important is this, whether you're 20, 30, or 40 or 50, to stay focused and stay professional?
Well, and it is. And I think for me, I realize I'm not going to ever retire from music, because that means stopping. And so I want to do it as long as I can. And if it was just a thing of, if I can take care of myself, and I always regretted those nights. If I was playing and I felt bad. I wasn't my best. It was the next day. Not only did I feel even worse because I'd have a hangover or something, I was like, man, I just didn't do a good job. I just wasn't my best. And I felt bad, I felt like, and I mean that I'm getting paid for this. And it's like, I feel like I didn't even earn it.
I mean, we've heard some of the stories out there. There's some big guys like Doyle Bramhall II, his testimony when he went out with Archangels after Stevie Ray Vaughan died.
Yeah.
And he went out and he had a drug problem. And every town as they were touring for that first leg of this, or the first tour they were doing with after the record got put out, and he was gone missing, and he would barely get there on time for the concert, or he was high, or you know what I mean? When he eventually started playing with Clapton later, Clapton was like, you're not doing any of that.
Well, touring too, I'm sure in country music, I feel like is a very grounded circle, but at the same time, you could easily lose yourself, but you won't keep your job. There's that too, because no one wants. There's a line for everybody. And if you're going hard every night, if you're not showing up to bus call, if you're late at every sound check, or if you're not going to keep your job. You're too emotionally expensive. So no matter how talented you are, your emotional expense outweighs the talent. It's too expensive. And so at some point, it's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good you are if you can't be there on time, if you can't deliver the goods when you need to. And I'm not saying like we all make mistakes on stage. It's going to happen. But if it's due to like you just don't have your act together, it's not, before long, they're just going to find someone who does.
Right. And what you're saying is exactly the whole point of what I'm saying about unveiling the curtain here. We're opening up the curtain for those listening behind these highlight reels that you see on TV. And you're seeing the truth of the matter here. Like, how do you want to approach your career right now, right? And you're talking from experience and wisdom and making mistakes probably or something, and now you're trying to hedge your bets and you're trying to stay on track, and you're trying to also be a part of a team, because you brought up a good point. When you're playing in bands, that emotional draw off each other. Let's talk for a second about that. Let's riff on that. When you get up on stage and you got a good group of guys going, right? That synergy you get when you're playing with other people, right? Especially if you're in a groove with this band, man. You don't want to be the one to drag that down.
No. Now, at the same time, on stage, someone, if the guys, if we're all having, we'll have a couple shots on stage. You know what I mean? Like we're on stage, we're all doing it together. We're at the same level. You know what I mean? It's, I'm not saying that we don't partake, at times, but at the same time, we're not showing up to the show that way. We still get the show done. We are, it's just finding the balance of everything. It's all in moderation, and I wait for the show for that. You know what I mean? And it's
if you're on the show and if you're out there playing and it's rolling, it's part of the thing happening. That's different than letting people down, because, like coaching soccer for years and everything, and being a sports guy, rugby for the Army, you're only as strong as your weakest link.
Yeah.
So if somebody's up there playing off key, their timing's off, it doesn't matter if it's the drummer, the lead guitarist, whatever, right? It's going to drag people down. And then you got to think about who showed up, who paid money to come see you guys, right? You're trying to do a service, right? Aren't you? You're performing, you're trying to give them a service, right?
It's the service industry.
Right.
It is. And so it's all it's all balance. And I'm not saying it's not fun, and I'm not saying be a downer when you come out. I think that if I were to, I think it makes it even more fun. It's kind of like if you went and had steak every single night of the week, or if you actually lived in a tropical vacation area. It's like, well, it becomes home. It's no longer exciting. And I think for me personally, I enjoy taking it easy, make sure I'm good. And then when we get to the show, if someone brings us around or whatever, we're doing it together. It's all good. Now we're having a really great time. and this is why, for me, why we saved up to this point.
That's good, man. I like it. This is some good advice for some young people watching out there. And let's talk about gear and setting up your gear on the stage. It's another behind the curtain thing. We just see you guys get off a bus. We see you're rocking on the stage. There's that in between, right? So let's talk about when you get on a stage, right? You got your gear. Do you have you must have some type of routines or algorithm thing in your head where you turn on a certain thing, try a certain thing, test a certain thing, right? When you get on stage?
Yeah, I mean, it's, my setup is so simple, so I've got my board with 3 pedals on it. Today we're backlining, so they got gear that's showing up for us. It's hopefully a Mesa Lone Star, but it's probably going to be a Fender.
Do you get to request those, or does your manager request what you want?
Yeah, but it's got a list of, if you don't have this, you have this. If you don't have this, you have this, and it starts working down to a PV Bandit or something. Yeah.
PV. Hey, PV made a boat. I'd buy it.
Anything louder than most of the time. Yeah. And so that's really the big thing is, if it's a backline situation, just I plug in my board and get it to where it's as close to what I'm used to as possible.
Now, who do you work with, the sound guys? Because there's a lot of people that watch this show that you're taking a few things for granted right here. There's somebody out there pushing some levers, doing some sound, compressions on by accident, reverb on by or something. So how do you account for that in a stadium?
His name's Roddy. He's our sound guy, and he'll. I mean, man, it's so hard because we have it so efficient and we're just so but yeah, he'll listen to it and he will give us feedback like, hey, this is not cutting out front. Can you do this, or whatever, which is valuable because I can't hear it up front. So the stage volume is not always, and the stage tone is not always the best judge of, does this sound good? Sometimes you got to be like, well, maybe it doesn't sound as ideal right now, but man, out there it sounds awesome. And so you got to trust your sound guy. And hopefully you got a good one. Hopefully you have one you can trust.
I think it's super important. There's so many people that I know that consider themselves music lovers, right? Yeah. And they go to concerts and they pay the money, good money and stuff. And they take for granted, like I've been at a concert and it was a big name, Journey. And Arnell was out there trying to sing his first song or so, and he was getting feedback on his mic at the stadium and wow, all this stuff, man. He couldn't hear it. His in-ear was acting up. And the person I'm sitting with later, we left the show, goes, man, he did not do that good. I'm it's like they fixed it by by halfway through the second song, and they switched him out mics while he was singing, and he didn't drop a beat. He was on key, I'm going I know maybe a little more than the other person sitting next to me, but what you're talking about right now, people sometimes don't understand how important is that sound guy for you.
Oh, it's life or death. And it's not just that. It's like if you have you got a tech fail, do they know what to do? Do they even know what these songs, do they know what needs to, be pumped up and what, it's life or death. Absolutely. And it's a good one, man, makes you sound really good. And you trust them, you know that when they say it sounds good or when they say it sounds bad, they're probably right.
So is he more important at a night like tonight with the back lines, with not your amp? Is he a little bit more important even because now you're dealing with equipment that's not yours?
It's the same. It's the same every even with our stuff because every room sounds different. So it's essentially the same whether we have backline or not. It's in my own amplifiers. It's the same, but sometimes I may have to put it up a little higher. We're outside, or the room is shaped like this, or bigger, or whatever. A different mic. Man, there's so many variables that you've got generally the same settings across the board, but it's like for today, man, it's low end. It's just a lot, or it's made it a little brighter. You just gotta work it out, and
so you got to be flexible too. So this is what I'm also picking up on. Being a professional out there, you're probably smooth with it. I know you enough. that if your sound guy is like, Brandon, it's like too low or whatever, we need a little mid boost. You're good enough. You've been around. You can just switch it real quick and, you know, and then trust them. So you got to be flexible is what I'm hearing, right? As a professional, we can't take it personal.
No, it's, man. And the one thing I see all the time, and I can say this because I used to be this guy years ago too, is guitar's too loud, need to turn down. I'm like, man, big deal. Turn it down. I mean, who cares? You want it to sound good, you know? And it's like everything they say, it's like maybe instead of getting offended, maybe consider the fact that they know more than you.
Oh, now you might be shaking somebody's ruffles here a little bit.
Trigger warning.
Trigger.
Maybe you don't know everything. Well, I call it guitaritis. You know, it's like guitar players have this thing and I can say, you know, you're say like, I could say this because I am one, you know, it's like, well, I can because I am one. You get guitaritis and, you want to be loud or you only want to listen to yourself. You know, I'll put on other guitar players mixes, like maybe if we're doing in-ears or something, I'll hear another mix in other situations. And I'm like, this is all their guitar and no vocals, no drums, no bass, no tracks. And I'm like, how are you playing with anyone? Because you can only hear yourself. Of course you're busy. Because when it's a dead moment, you don't hear anything else. And so of course you're overplaying. It makes perfect sense.
That's a good point.
Mostly vocals. You never step on the vocals. Never play a lead over a vocal. Ever. If you can't hear what the bass or the drums are doing, especially the hi-hat. The hi-hat is like the same as your right hand. You know what I mean? Like that's the strumming. If you can't hear all the other stuff going on, like, yeah, I don't blame them for overplaying.
Do you have a favorite position on stage? Like if you're not using in-ears, or do you have a favorite position? Like if David Lee Murphy just looks at you and go, wherever you want, Brandon, just stand where you want.
Stage right. And yeah, I'm always stage right.
You're stage right. But who's on that side? Drum, bass, who's on that side?
Well, the drums are always center. And so so for example, like tonight we have another guitar player out with us named Kyle, killer player, great guy. We do like if we do a really big room, well, you know, and if he's available, we'll have another guitar player out, just to make it sound. It should be if you're facing the stage, that's your left, and then he's on the other side, and then on that side, working our way in is David's in the center. And then bass is over stage left as well, just kind of more between the drums and the other guitar player. If it's just us, like Friday night, and we do a lot of shows where it's just me on guitar, it's me still stage right, bass guitar, Tommy's on stage left, drums center, David Lee's out front.
All right. Well, it's kind of interesting because I'm gonna talk about something for a second here that you mentioned about having guitaritis. How much time do guitar players, for example, put into their tone, shaping their tone, working on their touch for their tone? It's like I spend a lot of money. I spend a lot of time, and I'm not even professional. I play at churches and whatever and stuff, but how much time do you put into tone, and then you get out there and you think you know it all because you've got your tone, right? And then you think you've got your volume, right? So talk for a second about your tone and how important it is.
My rule of thumb is if you can hear me, and I'll even go as far as say, if I'm getting a lot of compliments on my guitar sound, that's a bad thing. Because David Lee Murphy is the one that needs to be heard. And I just want to sound like an instrument. And so it's like, you want to be kind of like a ninja to where like the guitar is present, but it sounds like music, not guitar.
I love it. So between guitaritis and being a guitar ninja.
But that's part of guitaritis, you know what I mean? It's you want to be the loudest thing in the room. And, if one piece and I think it's because I don't spend a lot of time now. I used to, but now I want to get set up quick. Just if it sounds good, we're good. I'm fortunate that I've had if I hear a bunch of feedback of other guitar players, a common thing I hear from other people, not David Lee, but in other situations, I'll be like, man, so and so other guitar player spends so much time looking down, playing with their pedals throughout the whole set. And I'm like, man, I used to be that guy. I'm grateful I'm not, but you gotta get away from it and just be up here.
How important is your stage presence professionally? Like playing in different little venues I've done in coffee or soup kitchens and colleges and all. Nobody cares. So if I'm like, what was that? What was that shoegaze thing years ago? Right in the '90s, like shoegazing. You're just looking down like this all the time. So like being a professional, is that frowned upon out there? Like on the stage, if you're just like this the whole time, like
it's not frowned upon. It's just not fun. The crowd didn't like that. I mean, it's just a fun party.
It's okay during a little solo thing you're digging in, but
about it, you're leading. It's an energy exchange. So if we're all just standing here, or the whole band's moving around, but I'm just standing here, looking down at my pedals because I want my, these little increments that don't make a difference because I'm in my head because this placebo thing is going on that I can hear this, little diode in my pedals making it sound a little grainy, whatever. Sorry, I'm starting to sound salty right now, but I'm like, dude, just play your guitar and just you want it to sound, it'd be easy to listen to, and you want it to sound like music. It's a band, I think when you get in that space, you're much happier. At least I am. I'm much happier playing. I'm not like. And I also enjoyed the challenge of if we're in a backline situation, I get an amp. My least favorite amp is a Fender Twin. I just don't like them. But at the same time, the challenge is, well, okay, am I professional? Yes. Have I heard people play a Fender Twin before and it sounded great? Yes. Should I be able to do that? Well, I guess I should. So I figure it out.
There you go. So that's part of traveling too that people don't understand. You're unveiling the curtain. You're pulling it back a little bit here for everybody, which is cool because people don't pay attention to what's going on. They see amps back there. Most people don't understand it. Like you're saying, the diodes, germanium, this, true bypass, this, they don't understand all that stuff, but they don't even understand the amps. And like you're saying, I think part of your professionalism that's shining through is you've already learned and you're doing it. You've probably learned to make things happen and to support the band and be a part of the group, right?
Yeah, because think about it. Like, would you hire you? Would I hire you? And when you hire someone, when you're in a hiring situation, when you're the guy, what do you need everyone to do? We just need the show to happen tonight. I really don't care how it happens. And I'd like to have a good time while doing it with very low level of chaos and drama or whatever. So if we could just make whatever we got work today, that would be awesome.
That's pretty good. So if like I like my super reverbs, and I like the tube ones that they have out there. So if somebody's backline and they got me a 75, I'd be like, no, I want the 69. I can't use this.
Oh yeah, I don't. No, man. No, I don't do YouTube. I enjoy the challenge. So we were in Mexico one time, and I had everything working against me, it was an awesome show, but I took 3 pedals, which I have. I didn't have that little board built yet, but my power supply, I broke it for my delay pedal. I had a Strymon at the time, and I broke it. So I had just my overdrive, just a tuner, and I'm the only guitar player. It was just we didn't have another guitar player in this one. And my arch nemesis, the Fender Twin back there. And I was like, I took a picture of that, posted on Instagram. It's just my drive and this tuner. And I was like, and my first thing was want to go panic, but that's a temporary emotion. And it's like, well, I should be able to handle this. That's what I always tell myself. Like, I got to figure this out because another guitar player would figure this out. And there's a whole line behind all of us that have a job that I'd do that. I'd play with less. I just plug straight in. You know what I mean? It's like, you got to think like there's a line behind you of guys that want your job.
Self-preservation a little bit keeps you on your toes, right?
So it's like, okay, well, I could sit here and complain about this. Or I can not say a word about it and just make it happen.
Because at the end of the day, you are a guitarist. And at the end of the day, you've played a lot of guitars in your life unplugged. You've sat there and you get tones out of these guitars right now. If you were to pick up your Nags right now, unplugged, start playing it, we could hear you get tone out of this, you know, in the fingers, the hand. So to your testimony here, I think being a professional, you dig down a little bit and think to yourself, you know, I can play guitar.
Yeah.
And
well, I always try to remind myself too, like all these great records that happened in the 60s and 70s and 50s, they didn't have a Boss tuner on stage. They had like the cleanest tone. They had flat wound strings that didn't bend. They had, and you know what? They were so excited. You know what I mean? And they played awesome.
So joy is in the journey.
They were in tune. They were all in tune together. And it was like, well, even if like, what if my tuner went out? For me, I'd be like, you know, I have to tune it by ear. This is a challenge. You know what I mean? It's like, you don't get bitter, you get better. You don't, you know, you win or you learn. And
I like it. The trial is an opportunity to test your professionalism and your integrity, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, a trial comes, and now you've been around enough where I can hear you talking it, and you're like, it's like if a trial comes your way, what is it this time? How can I get over it? You know what I mean? Let's go. So it's kind of like a little badge, you know, you're like, I did it, man, to yourself. You're like, come on, let's go.
The thing that I always remember, though, it's not the first call that matters, it's the second call. And you can get a call for any gig. It's the call back that matters the most. And each gig is like your first call. And I want to come back. And I want it, and I enjoy what I'm doing, and I want to know that I can be an asset to the bigger picture. And so, yeah, I want to always make it to the next call.
I love it. Brandon's great. Now, real quick, do you have anything new while you've been traveling? Anything at all? Have you picked up in the last year or two, like different suitcases, packing different, going with a soft case instead of a hard case, new pedals? Do you have any advice? Because I'm sure you're learning stuff as you go. Pack minimal. I don't know. Is there something that you do?
Can I show you?
Yeah, go for it, man. Go for it. Yeah, people love this stuff. Come on.
My backpack. Sorry, my room is trash. So
whatever. No condemnation, man.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So here's my pedal board.
Oh, cool. Oh, yeah.
So why did I do that? Well, because I didn't have to check 3 bags. I only had to check 2.
Awesome.
Well, I only checked 1. I carried on 2. But if I put that in its case, that was going to be another. And so just put it all together, you know, and I try to be just as minimal as possible. Because I have a habit of losing stuff, especially socks. And it's like, I just don't want to, you know, and then walk into through airports and layovers and yeah. But speaking of bags, I do need a new bag. Bad. My mono bag it's in bad shape.
Which bag is that?
Bag, you know, it carries 2 guitars.
What's the mono bag? You just went out for a second. What was that?
Mono. Oh yeah, my mono bag. It's my guitar bag. Let me show you.
Oh, gotcha.
This thing is seen.
Oh, look at that. Wow.
The zipper's broke. This is shredded. I mean,
I don't know, man.
But dude, I've had this thing for like 10 years.
We might have to start a GoFundMe.
Man, they're not cheap. They're like $400.
Like I said, we'll start a GoFundMe. Anybody wants to start a Patreon for his bag?
But I mean, you know how it is. One of those boats work this long. The strap is broke. Like an airline broke it, and for the break, so I have to carry it on one shoulder. It's just 2 guitars. I'm walking through the airport, and of course, it's not the right side, so it's going across, and it's off a little bit. And I'm like going to my gate, like, you know, permanent shoulder pain, you know, from it. And
what 2 guitars? You said 2 guitars real quick. You got the Nags. I saw that.
Yeah, both Nags. Yeah.
Oh, you got both Nags. I didn't see the other Nags.
What?
Yeah, I don't know, unless you got 2 white ones.
Oh man,
This is new to me. Oh, I didn't know you had one of those single cutaway.
this is awesome.
Oh, really cool. Did you have the coil splits and all that kind of stuff in there?
No, no,
In that one?
it's just straight up
Two
two
humbuckers?
tones. Yeah.
Wow. So that does that sound more like a PRS type sound or Gibson sound or something?
It sounds like a really fat Les Paul,
Like a Les Paul, yeah.
like a really good one, like a real good one. Neck's great. I mean, it's light. And it's solid. It's not chambered, but it's just under 8 pounds.
That's not bad for solid body.
Bro, it's the bee's knees.
That's cool, man.
I love this guitar.
Yeah. Well, which one did you have first? You have the white one or that one?
The white one.
White one, yeah. Yeah, that one's been on the other episode.
These two go everywhere with me.
Uh-huh.
I love them, and I love Nags. I love Peter, I love Joe. They're great. It's a great company.
I hope they're coming out to Nashville to do like a nag thing, nags, whatever you want to call it, like a whole nag show.
Cool.
They're thinking about doing it or something. He said it on the interview. So those of you interested in what we're talking about, check out that Peter Wolf interview from Nags that I have out on the other episode. That would be cool to go see. It means get a bunch of, I don't know who he's going to invite, but obviously out in Nashville, he said he'd do it.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Man, I'll come with you, man. You want to carpool? Take my Jeep, man. Let's go. We'll come from Tulsa, go carpool.
That'd be awesome.
I'd like to vlog it for him. I told him I would, man. That'd be sick. All right. So as we're wrapping up now, what's next right now for you as you're heading into the next few weeks, month? Is it just the online lessons? You're playing with the Texas guy? What else do you have lined up?
Yeah, a lot of online lessons, recording. I've got a lot of sessions and a lot of playing guitar, man. Just getting ready, getting excited for 2024. And David Lee, we're going to be playing a whole bunch next year, which I'm excited about. Yeah, and so just onward and upward, man.
I love it. Are you going to be playing locally at all? Do you know, like in T-Town?
I don't know. I don't do a lot of that. You know what I mean? And I don't know. And I want to. I'll try to get out and see. I need to see. I got a lot of friends that I need to go see play. So I'll at least be out watching some people.
Catch you maybe at Barnett Music Exchange a little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
Right.
Dude, I love. Yeah, Barnett is awesome. I love Seth. And Seth is, as far as just people and music store owners and music store, man, he's the best.
I got to get you out to see Drew win too, man. I need to take you out to Guitar House Salsa, buddy.
I want to.
Yeah, let's go.
I haven't been in many, many years. I haven't been to the new spot.
Yeah, man, it's pretty good. In fact, this guy right here, the shirt I'm wearing, Reckless Shots with Will Bell. That was a whole episode a few months ago. He used to work there. Now he's out in Florida. So I'll give Will a plug. Check Will Bell out on Reckless Shots. Awesome band. They're on the east coast of Florida, north of Miami up there, just doing the terrible like beach bars at night on the beach, Sure. Kind of hard life, But yeah, Will used to work at Guitar House and wearing his shirt today, man. Check them guys out on Facebook. So I'll check them out. Yeah. So, all right. So as we wrap up here, I'll put links if you send me anything that for people to sign up online. If somebody mentions that they heard this through the show and they want to do a lesson with you, just seriously get back to me and I'll send them a shirt as long as they're, CONUS, Continent US.
Man, that's cool.
Yeah, I'll hook them up, man. I got some orders. I'm just waiting to the new year to come to place a bunch of orders for some new promo stuff. And I'll hook up some guests, man. Why not, right? Come on, dude. That's what it's about.
That's so nice. Thanks, dude.
You got it, big guy. All right. So, Brandon, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to out there? Any family, any enemies you're coming for?
Shout out to my homies, wife and kids, Casey and the kids, Jalen, Jet, Jagger. Be home tomorrow. So
yeah, brother. By the time this comes out, you'll be home.
Yeah.
I might put it out tomorrow if I'm quick. But anyways, all right. Stay on the line, Brandon. As we wrap up here. Thanks everybody for tuning in today. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the likes, leave some comments, send Brandon and I some messages. We'll get back to you. And if you sign up for lessons through his stuff online, I'm sending you a shirt. He can sign it first, but I'll send it to you. So thanks, everybody. All right, Brandon. Thanks, big guy.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.